Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. On behalf of Industry Development Bureau, IDB of Taiwan, I would like to welcome you all to MWC 2022 Partner Program. In this section, we would like to share with you how Taiwan can contribute to the 5G OpenRAN ecosystem. OpenRAN puts great emphasis on the disaggregation between hardware and the software and provides more flexibility and agility in network deployment. As the home of the largest ICT suppliers in the world, this is where Taiwan's companies can be great access to software partners in delivering OpenRAN solutions worldwide. Having this said, integration tests between multi-vendor components in OpenRAN becomes extremely important. These are also key to accelerate time to market in OpenRAN and operator adoption. Therefore, in 2020, IDB of Taiwan launched Taiwan's first carrier-grade 5G Open Network Lab for end-to-end testing. This lab was also recognized in 2021 as a community lab of Telecom Infra Project (TIP) to focus on integration in order to help test products demonstrate readiness for deployment in a commercial environment. Through this TIP community lab, solution providers can test their products against requirements consolidated from global operators. As a result, we can better support qualified 5G products to the global telecom market. Given Taiwan's strong capability in manufacture, Taiwan is an excellent position to contribute to the OpenRAN ecosystem. Taiwan-made ICT products are among the best in the world with great competitive advantages. Our selection of OpenRAN vendors such as Telecom, Compare, Alpha Networks, Foxconn, Quanta Computer, MTI, and more have impacted on partnership with telecom operators in Japan, United States American, and Europe. And these are just a few examples. Through our partnership with TIP, we are able to validate product maturity, give out badges according and list the products on TIP, exchange as a reference to operators and system integrators worldwide. This is also an effort to boost the confidence of buyers and tested products from Taiwan can be integrated without a large overhead to encourage new partnerships with Taiwan's ICT supply chain. In this MWC 2022 Partner Program, we are very glad to invite, advocate, and solution provide for open and disaggregated connectivity technology and to share with us this insight. With that, I wish you all a great section. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Maggie Zhang, Manager of Communication Industry Development Project Office related by Industrial Development Bureau, MOEA Taiwan. I'm your host today and welcome you to this IDB E3 TIP Community Lab Series event. How can Taiwan contribute to the ecosystem of 5G OpenRAN, co-organized by IDB and E3? Taiwan, the global #1 OEM ODM ICT manufacturing base in the world, is working closely with the global OpenRAN ecosystem partners to fulfill international telecom market development needs. And we're positioning with the comprehensive ecosystem and strong support from the government. Taiwan teams up with Telecom Infra Project (TIP) to support the qualified 5G products to the global market. So in this panel, TIP will share how they are helping the industry accelerate the commercial development of open solutions across the network. Also, the real cases from HTC, the most famous brand company from Taiwan, and Lions, a leading provider of Overend compliant 5G solution, will be shared and discussed how Taiwan can contribute to the ecosystem of 5G OpenRAN. So now, without further ado, let's welcome our panelists today. The first one is Dr. Yan Su, the Connectivity Technology and Ecosystem Manager from TIP. Hello, Yan.
Hello, hi, Maggie. Yeah.
And the second one is Raymond Bao, the Senior Vice President of Business Solutions from HTC. Hello, Raymond.
Hi, Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, hello, Raymond. And the next one is Dr. Ken Zhang, Senior Marketing Director from Lions. Hello, Ken.
Hello, Maggie. Hello, everyone.
Hi. And now, please join me to welcome our moderator, Howard Tsao, the CTO of Communication Industry Development Project Office, delegated by IDB MOEA. Howard, now you may have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Maggie. Welcome all the panelists. Welcome join us to this panel to talk about the 5G ORAN status, the market status. Okay, I believe recently we see a lot of activities, the global activities on ORAN, like Deutsche Telekom, Vodafone, AT&T in US. Some of the activity are in Japan, like Docomo and KDDI. So recently, the ORAN activity seems very hot in this telecom industry. So following session, we will talk about all these use cases or solutions. What are the status in the global market? Okay, so welcome all three of you. I think all the panelists will share their 5-minute presentation materials. Talk about your own use case or your solutions. But very especially, we have Yan here, the TIP lab manager, to talk about the TIP batching process. It's a very good approach for the industry to accelerate all these testing activities for all the vendors or ecosystem partners. So, okay, so I will move to Yan, the TIP manager, talk about these the community lab from TIP.
Yeah, thanks for having me here to collaborate with the E3 to accelerate OpenRAN's adoptions and to leverage the Taiwanese ecosystems. So in this short slide, I will talk about give a quick overview of the TIP and the OpenRAN project group and also our badging mechanisms. Yeah. So as you can see, so TIP has this kind of 6-step process that's starting from the idealization to define, to build and test, all the way to the release and deployments. As you can see, there's 3 major stages, beginning from technical roadmap, that is idea and define, and then to the test and the validation, and then to TIP exchange as a marketplace. So the technical roadmap are initially defined in the idea and the define step, where operator requirements, commercial priority, and the user case are identified and translated to definition and feedback loop with participant vendors. So ensuring these all inputs from the industry, from both operator and the vendors are accounted for. Then with TIP process working, we'll move on to the test and validation phase, with the build and test and validation comes next. So this process is the one we work closely with the TIP community lab around the world, including the E3's TIP community lab, to ensure that the components integrated for the solution can operate as a completely telecom solution system and can be deployed in a live network. So lastly is the marketplace, the last stage. So this is the output of the test and validation. So we are blueprints, best products, and the solution are published on TIP Exchange and made available to the operators around the world to access its maturity and product spec. So this TIP process is iterative, reflecting a continuous release management. So the output is continuously released and improved. So as you can see, so we have this TIP, we have this OpenRAN project group, and the focus of the TIP OpenRAN is to produce open and disaggregated products and solution, which will offer vendor diversity to less operators. So providing new platform to manage the network, and over time, this leads to the significant operational cost reduction and the CapEx savings. So the group, in cooperation with the leading operators and vendor ecosystems, other stakeholders, we seek to harmonize the requirements. Components group, where the components group, we see there's 4 different components group. One is for the hardware components group, radio units group, and the DUCU components group. The other 2 are the more software-oriented components group, like radio intelligent automation components group, that's focusing on the AI machine learning use case for massive MIMO, RRM, and so on. And then the other is a roadmap subgroup, which addressing the OpenRAN orchestration and lifecycle management. Then we have 2 other segment subgroup. So this segment group will focus on creating a minimum variable RAN products blueprint and solution blueprint that's optimized for the function features. So one is the outdoor macro subgroup that's focused on to address the macro use case. And the other is the small cell subgroup, focused on the small indoor and outdoor small cell user cases. So let's talk a little bit about the small cell subgroup. So this is a subgroup, I believe this was particularly relevant to the Taiwanese ecosystems. It is this subgroup is the why we set this subgroup is to enable the developments of the small cell system for both indoor and outdoor based on the open interface that can be deployed at larger scales. So the subgroup has currently been led by China Unicom and the T-Mobile USA. Yeah. And in 2021, this subgroup has made a significant progress. We have produced release 1 requirements documents and the corresponding test plan, and has also released the test report based on the lab trial that's conducted in China Unicom lab with 1 vendors to demonstrate the system performance with a 5G SA system based on the open interface 7.2. Yeah. So this lab trial and the test report, it is perfect example to demonstrate the TIP6 process we just mentioned before. And so currently, this subgroup is working very closely with the OMG, as the 5 European operators, Deutsche Telekom, Telefonica, Vodafone, Team Italian, and Orange, to develop the release 2 requirements documents. Let's take the technical requirement documents that's put forward by these 5 big European operators. So the last slide would give a quick view of the TIPS, ribbon and badge process. So the main idea of this ribbon and badge is to recognize the product's maturity, to reflect its conformance to the requirements, to reflect its. So that we can say there's 2 categories. One is the ribbon. So ribbon is awarded based on the requirements, or the testing has been done as the operator test lab. And the other is the badge. So badge is based on the testing against the PG requirements, the common test plans. So leads us to recognize the products that have been done with as a TIP community lab, and to ensure that consistent testing across all the products in different labs. So first, we can say that there's 3 stages of the badge. So one is the products badge, supplier validated products that can be done as the vendor as in their own lab. The other for the TIP validated products and TIP validated solution that refers to validated products that's done as a TIP community lab or the authorized lab. And the TIP validated solution, it's the primary goal is to generate the blueprints. That is a highlighted site of the products that can be integrated and tested together. And we have validated is requirements meets the requirements configuration, and its configuration and the similar documents would be made available to help deployments to shorten the deployment cycles. So the overall in this year, since we launched this TIP exchange, so project group has made a significant contribution to the TIP exchange, where we awarded over 40 badge listing across the RU, DUCU, indoor small cell, and the macro outdoor subgroups, with all additional products and solutions in different stages as we're coming to the exchange. These things showcase the products and the solution available to support the various RAN deployment user case. Yeah. And this is where the working with the TIP community lab is help the industry to de-risk the integration effort, to reduce the testing efforts, to help the OpenRAN deployments. Yeah, thanks. That concludes my slide.
Okay, thank you, Yang. So let's move to our second panelist, the Raymond.
Thank you, Howard. Hi, all the audience online. It's really exciting HTC get invited to participate this Overend panel. HTC is a new name in Overend infrastructure. So I would like to take a couple minutes to introduce HTC. What are we doing in 5G private network solution? So HTC, I think lots of people, when you hear HTC, you think about our smartphone. It is true, HTC started from late 1990s, and we started from PDA phone, and then we do smartphone. We've been working on the 2G, 3G, 4G, I think it's almost 20 years. The team has accumulated many experiences in the communication products, but most of our past experiences is in the terminal side. However, when the team started to look at the spec in 5G, we found out that lots of the new features, new functionalities in 5G really helps the enterprise to do the digital transformation. Especially there's the Overend architecture, which fits the strengths of Taiwan, where we have a very strong ICT industry. So that's why since 2018, HTC, our 5G team starts to invest our resource to work on the Overend architecture. We want to bring HTC 5G private network solutions based on Overend. And our goal is to provide the optimized private 5G network services to support enterprise digital transformation. Since there are so many partners and companies in Taiwan are making ICT hardwares, so HTC, when we started, I think our focus will be the RAN software. We're doing the CUDU software and leverage and co-work with all the hardware partners in Taiwan to build up our solutions. We have based on Intel FlexRAN architecture to bring up our whole RAN system software. And this is our demo, and actually it is commercialized in Taiwan, ViveLAN in Kaohsiung, where we have offline arcade in Tsao, where many kids, young people, and families, they brought their kids to enjoy VR during the weekend. And there the space, we have 6 PC VR, where we have a long cable, like 20 meters long cable from PC tethered to the HMD, to the VR HMD, and people can enjoy the content inside. But when we start to implement our 5G Overend solutions, we actually replace all the cables with the 5G private network. And then we can bring the virtual reality, the VR headset, from the tethered experiences to the wireless experiences. And this is the picture we taken in our location. It was started running commercially to public since this April. So we have our RAN over there. We have our partners with the core. And then you can see we have 6 people can run in the VR together wirelessly in our location. So when we start to look at the 5G private network, who is our first customers? So we decided our main focus in the first tier will be to support the enterprise to do the digital transformation. So when we start to talk with the enterprise, we find out there are so many factories, enterprises in Taiwan. They want to do the digital transformation, but they are looking for the 5G private network to be able to set up so that they can start to pilot run their IoT applications. But the initial setup, no matter it's the cost, it's a procedure, it's the operation, it's too complicated for their IT to start with. And most of the factory, they want to pilot run their 5G application first, and then they can do mass adoption. So we want to help them. That's why after we launch our 5G Overend solution in our ViveLAN, we bring our solution into a small carry box to help the enterprise. They can set up a private 5G network much easier than before. And this is the carry box. And I actually personally bring this box to US. I check in the luggage to the airport, and then I can check out the luggage in Los Angeles and then set up a private network in our office in 30 minutes. So I just need to, bring the luggage to the office, plug in all the power, and then take out the radio unit somewhere in the high position. So, and then the network will start to run. Our setup complete core, RAN, and the radio unit in this box. Of course, the hardware all came from our partners, and we focus in the integration and the CUDU software part. In this box, we can support 32 connected devices and 16 active devices. And right now we can support N41 band, N48, N78, and N79. This box, we have a very balanced download and upload performance in the default setup. I think the beauty of the private 5G network and the ORAN architecture is its flexibility. So we also think the enterprise, when they do digital transformation, based on their industry, they will have different applications. Some applications maybe needs to have huge download. Some applications needs to have huge uploads. So besides a very balanced profiles, we also enable 3 other different profiles for different applications. We have a download-centric profile, we have an upload-centric profile, and we have VR mode profile. Because the VR, we need not only the download, but also a very low bit error rate. So when I bring our box to US, I can set up in a football stadium, and then I demo the VR streaming, leverage the private 5G network in 30 minutes to many customers during the football game. And also, we have our upload profile. We are working with some partners. We can do 3 4K camera uploading through 5G. And also, we have a balanced profile that we can work with the partners. That project will launch mid next year, which is the AR glass for inspection systems. I think all these use cases are running on top of our private 5G network solutions. So it's really great that HTC has this opportunity to bring our software and work with so many Taiwanese and global ICT hardware partners to bring the private 5G network solution to the field to help the enterprise to adopt their digital transformation applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. Very interesting solution. Probably we can spend some time during the panel discussions. We can talk about it. All right. So next we'll move to Ken, the marketing director Alliance.
Okay, thank you for having Alliance here. It's my honor to introduce Alliance to the audience online. Alliance Technology, we are a new company for the 5G RAN, but actually we experienced in small cell and vertical market before, based on experience of our team. So Alliance is established in 2019. For here, we focus on wireless small cell base station and RF technologies. And our solution for now, we are providing end-to-end solution to customer. I mean, we have RU, we have a CUDU, and we have a front-haul gateway. And at the same time, we provide management interface for customer connecting to their dashboard management software. And in the manufacturing side, as the 5G or the telecom application is very quality demanding, so we are partner with Quanta Computer Inc. For our manufacturing supply chain and quality assurance, that our customer can get the best quality for their RAN. And also, Alliance is an active member of ORAN Alliance and TIP. We actively participate in the testing and verification of product and technology. And Alliance is a multinational team. We have headquarters in Hsinchu, Taiwan, and we also have some R&D architecture, and we have RF engineering in the United States. As I said in last page, we do end-to-end solutions. So for current version, current product, we follow the 3GPP R15 and R16 standard and the ORAN standard compliance. As we do the development and the optimization in-house, so we can customize according to customers' requirement. Yeah. So for now, our product, we have integrated BBU baseband unit, which integrating the CU and the DU. And for coverage expansion, we have a front-haul gateway. Front-haul gateway is used to expand the airway coverage of a BBU. And we have RU, we have indoor RU and outdoor RU. In the next page, we can see more detail about our solution. So you can see our key product here. It is an Overend compliance product. In the left side of my desk, we have a BBU here. We can support different frame structure. In Taiwan, we have some customer requested special frame structure from Japan. Our CUDU solution is our software coupled with a hardware acceleration card, which can run on COTS standard server. And in the middle is our phone hall gateway. As I say, phone hall gateway, one phone hall gateway can connect to 8 RU. That means you can expand your coverage in the initial implement. Just like part of HTC say, some customer, they like to just a pilot run their project. So we can provide phone hall gateway for customer to do the biggest coverage with their pilot run. For example, they have AGV and travel here and there, but the density of the UE of the cell is not so intense. Customer can use phone hall gateway. And the phone hall gateway also can provide power to indoor RU that RU can be easily installed anywhere and still have a stable power supply. In the right corner of our slides, we have indoor and outdoor RU. And to confirm the interoperability and the product performance of our product, Lions is actively participated in industrial organization test and conformance. We believe that third-party certificate is more persuasive for customer. So you can see we have two testing in the third-party lab, including our OTIC, and we have Jang-Hwa Telecom lab to do those certification or test for us. We do RU test and DU-CU interoperability test and end-to-end solution. Also, we have two interoperability test that connect our end-to-end solution to Cisco, Ericsson, Nokia 5G core network and the QCT 5G core network to prove that we can do IoT with the 5G core network. Recently, in the final row of this, we are doing the security conformance certificate for the 3GPP 133 series information security for journal requirement and for the 5G GNOB requirement. We have done many smart manufacturing use cases in Taiwan, but I like to share this interesting use case. It is not you call smart manufacturing, but it is a AR application used in real, we say, small and medium enterprise application. It is a high-mix, low-volume manufacturing requirement because in Taiwan, many companies, they cannot do very large volume production, but Taiwan industry are flexible that can provide different product to customers. So we have been running this site since the year 2020. So it has been operated for over 1 year and in Taiwan. So the main purpose of the application is to reduce occupational burnout. Because in the production line, some task is very concentration demanding. So that will burn out the energy of the labor. It makes our customer very difficult to find labor. It is because the labor requires some skill. The labor need to identify their part number and some details, but they cannot get skilled people. So they like to have a tool to train unskilled labor to do those kind of jobs. So the main function, one is the material pickup assistance from material self. As for high-mix, low-volume manufacturing, the material pickup, you cannot do automation. So the idea is they use the AR to identify the right chassis that the operator can get the parts very quick with the indication assistance. The other is for the inline inspection. It is for different parts, you have a different guideline of different requirement for inspection. Because the customer, they can use the AR to identify the project, they can bring up the key guidance for the operator that she can check the infect, and ensure the quality. I think a very interesting case we like to share with our audience. Yeah, so yeah, I am very glad to have opportunity to introduce our solution here, and we would like to hear more from our customer in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Very interesting case. We see those for different applications. Okay, so let's start our panel discussions. For the last couple of months, I heard a lot of activities in Europe, like DT and Vodafone. They have launched their pilot project. They call it 5G towns. Right? It's a pilot project, implement like 2,000 plus base stations. But it's a public network. And also, I heard a lot of activities in Japan. Like I mentioned, the KDDI plus Docomo. I heard Docomo is even they bring in like 15 new players for their disaggregate network deployment. So it's a very interesting case. For the US, I just heard that the Verizon and the AT&T, T-Mobile also invite a lot of different ecosystem partner to contribute to their network deployment. So it seems like the telecom market is getting open and open more. So, but during these new player in place, I think the end user, the telcos, their thinking is quite different. I think they are very conservative, especially to deploy all these different products in their public network. A private network will be a different story. Okay, so let's hear some of the feedback from your side. The question number one will be, what are the major challenges and considerations to adopt ORAN solution, and what are the takeaways from these experiences? Since you mentioned a little bit during the presentation, I want to hear from you more through these discussions. So let's move to Yan. From your perspective, what are your thoughts on this?
Let's think about the OpenRAN. So OpenRAN is essentially it consists of disaggregated components across the network from multiple vendors, and it's also disaggregated hardware and software. So there indeed are a few challenges from the test and validation perspective to be addressed for its mass productions. So first, I think it's one is to how to develop easy to consume RAN products blueprints. This is especially relevant for the macro network. They usually have multiple vendors come in to provide the different components. For the enterprise private network, could be the case that a blueprint consists of the products that's from one vendor only, as we can see from the HTC's offering and the Lions offering. Yes, it's open. So, but in either case, the easy to consume RAN products blueprint is extremely important, as demonstrated by the HTC. So if you have one box solution that can be easily deployed, set up in half hour, that's going to make the adoption much easier. So as a whole, if you think about the multi-vendor scenarios, so we need to develop the blueprint compromise of the multiple vendor hardware and software products, and all these MVP products blueprints must be optimized for feature, functions, and cost to address specific deployment scenarios, either for macro or for the private LT 4G 5G enterprise solutions. Yeah. And what the role TIP play here is so TIP, if we have this kind of blueprints available, TIP would and is compliant to the TIP's requirements, the public is pre-validate the OpenRAN products blueprints on the TIP exchange and make it easy to consume and make the operator easy to consume disaggregated multi-vendor solutions. Also, so let's think about the blueprint. So this first is to be enabled through the batching and the testing process. That's what make it easy for a mobile operator to access the majority of the OpenRAN solutions and components and blueprints through our tiered batch program, tiered batch that reflects its maturity, and also this make it easier to adopt right OpenRAN solution based on the operator's skill set and capabilities. Yeah. For the private IoTs, private enterprise, they may opt to the really easy to consume the solution, one box and easy. For the big operator, they have all these skill set. They can maybe put together a solution that's optimized for cost and performance, but consists from multiple vendors. And the last I want to emphasize is for the trial, to accelerate the trial and deployments, conduct extensive testing as typical community lab with SMO labs and the partner lab to characterize the productization of the OpenRAN against the published requirements. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good point. Because TIP work with a lot of telcos, right? Up to now, what kind of equipment, ORAN equipment, they are from the telcos? For instance, you work with them for all these testing cases, all these testing plans, so that you can accelerate all these integration test process. All those requirements from the telcos, are they for the public network, macro site, or for the private network, small cell?
Okay, that's a great question. So first, as the TIP, we have multiple subgroups as OpenRANs. We have the outdoor macro that's addressed more for the macro outdoors requirements that coming from the our release ones that coming from Vodafone and other big carriers. And the release 2 is coming from the G5 MOU groups in Europe and with other operators around the world. And now it's the subgroup of the small cell side, they address them more from the small cell perspective. The requirements in our release 1 coming from T-Mobile USA, and the China Unicorns is the 5G SA solutions. And in our release 2, we are focused on developing to support both indoor and outdoor, and also support multiple architecture solutions. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good point. All right, so let's move to Raymond. Raymond, how about it? How do you think about it, and what's your takeaway from all these trial experiences?
Thank you. I think the beauty for the ORAN is in the open side, right? When you are in the open, it's very easy to have more partners to join the ecosystem, to grow the ecosystem, and make the whole system with different variants of solutions and selections. But also, I think the challenge also comes from the open as well. Because if you see this is open, there will be multiple combinations. There's people considering about the compatibility and also about the operation. So I think one thing I fully agree with Yan that the TIP labs can help us a lot of things. With lab testing, there's a guarantee for the compatibility and the quality perspective if you have certain of the combination, right? But this is another challenge we're seeing. I think they all love ORAN. They love the ORAN. They love this openness, but somehow I think they are conservative in the operation perspective. And who can they find out when there's anything happens to guarantee the service is up and running? I think that's where we see in the future maybe there will be more integrated brand coming out to provide the services and guarantee the quality and capability to these carriers. Those can guarantee or help to speed up the carrier to adopt the ORAN architecture. But in HTC side, since we focus in the RAN software, so we decided we move to the enterprise directly. We want to help the enterprise to do the digital transformation, to help them to build a private 5G network. Maybe in the campus scale, it's not as big scale as the whole public network, but I think that's probably the easier reachable market for HTC in the near future to bring the ORAN to help the enterprise. So I think that's the takeaway from our side. We will keep working with the partners and to talk to carriers everywhere to pitch the ORAN architecture. But during this progress, we want to move to the enterprise 5G private network first to see there's a market there to help them to adopt and into their workflow.
Okay, thank you. Good point. Since you talk about the work with the partners, what's the HTC role? HTC is a software developers plus system integrator plus solution provider, or you work with the SI partners to tackle this private network market?
So it's different. Like our company base is in Taiwan, so we have relatively more resource in Taiwan, and so that in Taiwan we do have two roles. One, we provide our solutions. We work kind of like a system integrators, but we also have system integrator partners in Taiwan to talk with take the projects, to work with enterprise. But outside Taiwan, like the US or Europe, definitely we want to work with system integrators so they can do the first line engagement with customers to help support the customers. And HTC will be the technology provider to them.
Okay, good point. Thank you. What about you, Ken? What's your idea about this?
Yeah, I agree with Yen's idea that certificate and the badge is very important to communicate with telecom customers. As we support tips this initiative, so I trust them that we have a good foundation to communicate with our customers. So I would like to focus more on the implementation of the ORAN or OpenRAN product. It is because for OpenRAN, the idea is first you have to disaggregate and do equation. So the ORAN standard is very try to be flexible and intelligent. So that's make the standards very complicated to implement. And at the same time, when you consider you want to provide a solution to customers, as I say, Lions is a purely ORAN solution providers. So you cannot provide just indoor RU. So you need also have outdoor RU. And for customer, they maybe have a management requirement. So we have to O1 and a UI interface, something like that. So this will make the integration very time consuming and take a lot of practice. So you need to have a multidisciplinary team. You need to have software stack, RF technology, and have you a pilot run. Customer assume that RAN solution provider can do debugging for them. So in addition to RAN, actually we need to know 5G core network and the other architecture. It is because in field trial, sometimes you will adopt a workaround solution to solve the problem. Because customers just want to solve the problem, they don't care the details. So we have to provide a solution quick. So for this kind of effort, you have to a multidisciplinary team. So this is the difficult because in Taiwan, you cannot acquire so many talents in your company. So in our case, we have some experience or lesson learned from this challenge. That is, we use a multinational team to work together because in different countries, we have a different talent. We can help each other to solve the problem. And then the others, we need to enrich a learning organization culture. It is because we have a new standards and we need to learn a lot of new things. For example, in addition to RAN, we also need to know more about virtualization and the old cloud and something like that. So we need to have a learning organization. The idea is that we have problem. So let's study it from maybe you need to from bottom up to solve the problem. That is time consuming, but it can help. I can give you an example. As you know, OpenRAN CUDU run on COTS, but the 5G communication is very high performance. It is just like you maybe buy a commercial car from the showroom, and then you want to upgrade it to maybe from just 100 horsepower to 1,000 or 2,000 horsepower. You need a lot of optimization. Every detail matters. So you need to have a bottom-up discipline to solve those kind of problems. That's the takeaway from our experience for a maybe end-to-end solution provider.
Okay, thank you. Very good point. I love your the learning organization approach because you are a multi-nation company, right? So you have different locations in different countries. The global companies need this momentum to recruit all these different talent from different fields, and also set up this learning organization culture is quite important for such technology companies. Okay, good point. All right, so let's move to the second questions. What business benefit does ORAN solution bring to public network services and private network services? And what are the contribution that could be addressed as ecosystem partners? Okay, so Yan, since you talk about a lot of talk about how to support all these different telcos and support the industry, how to reduce all these interrupts, time, the duration of processes, all this, and also tip set up a different working group for different product. So how do you see from a tip perspective how to move all these solutions, I would say solutions, faster to different telcos to tackle different private network or public network?
Okay, yeah. So I think that let's start with the public network first. I think it's the OpenRAN. It is this open and disaggregated network. It is yes, it's come with a challenge of system integration, test validation, but it is also, we can see it reflects one of the most important trend in the telco industry. That is it is this open and disaggregated network is follow the IT network's evolution. So if you moving towards the disaggregate the hardware and software, this opened the way to adopt lots of the practice that's in today's IT or hyperscaler to reduce the cost, to reduce the especially operating cost, use automation, configuration, planning, all these aspects. So OpenRAN is basically this can help to first to I think help the operators to address the TCO challenges. That's to break up the vendor lock-ins and add the vendor diversity to drive to provide a new platform to manage the network to help I think as reduce the CapEx cost, and will also with this open up the disaggregation of the hardware and software, lots of the AI and machine learning practice can be adopted to automate all this process to reduce the human labor's cost as well. And I think that is one of the biggest things the OpenRANs can offer to the big telcos. Look at the TCO perspective, and because right now the TCO reduction cannot keep up with the pace of the exponential data growth. Yeah. And then if we think about the small cells from the private enterprise network, I think I would think more from an ecosystem perspective. Previously, and this enterprise network has not been a focus area for big incumbents because they are more or less focused on the macro network nationwide deployments because that is where they make most of the money. And yet with the OpenRAN, this kind of open interface, it is really lower the barrier of the entrance. We see more and more companies, smaller companies, to join to provide new solutions, as just demonstrated by the HTCs, by the Alliance. So this can really increase the dynamics of the ecosystems and also come up with innovative solutions to capitalize these markets, like the AR, VRs, and the other user cases, the manufacturing basis. This has only come up from the vendor that's worked closely with the local base with their strengths. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good point. Talking about ORAN, I heard 2025 or 2030 is a magic date for ORAN deployment. I heard a lot of stories from the industry. But anyway, I think there's good directions for technology involvement from the solution provider point of view or manufacturer point of view. I think that forecast is still unknown, I will say. Still need everybody moving same pace with the industry involvement. Okay, so Raymond, so for this, what's your thoughts on these questions?
I think for the benefit of ORAN is clear. I think the CP value is easiest one everybody think of. But our view is we see more benefit from the ORAN architecture is the optimization, customization, and also the privacy and security. Especially when we start to look more requirement from the enterprise customers, sometimes we find out they are using different type of applications. For example, the location-based entertainment, they like the download more with lower bit error rate with the virtual reality use case. But in surveillance camera use case, maybe what they need is more the uplink. So the optimization for different use case to, leverage the best the spectrum capability is one of the beauty for the ORAN architecture. And also for the customization, the indoor, outdoor layout, different selections. I think this is also the SI and the ORAN partner can provide it. And also with the different hardware and software capabilities, they can do, very big hardware devices, and also they can try to using a small one if the use case is different. And also the last one for the enterprise is they need sometimes they need security and privacy where they don't really want the data routing to the public network, even with the VPN, and then coming back. If they need really on-premise solutions, actually ORAN give them another choice as well. So besides of the CP value, I do see this additional value where ORAN can occupy and fulfill certain requirement from different segment of the users.
Okay, great point. Okay, so how about your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Ian and Raymond explained very clearly. I like to share some experience based on customer interaction of Lions. Yeah, the benefit is clear, but as we know, ORAN is still in emerging phase. We are doing a lot of development and the interoperability test. So I think the real benefit for customer is to be realized. For now, it is not so evident, but the OpenRAN standard give customer a possibility or a hope for multi-vendor deployment. That will make them start to move. It is because in past, customer will think, yeah, I have this kind of requirement and the current solution cannot fit my requirement. And the current solution is so expensive. So they say, I just stop and don't like to start maybe a 5G private network initiative or project. So, but for ORAN, they think it is possible. So they will start to talk to a solution provider and they say, I want this, I want that, and if you can do this. I think the first point is the customer feel that their opinion or their voice can be heard when they talk to vendor, because for now, we have more vendors than before. So they can deliver their requirement to us. Maybe in our case, we have customer from mining application in the underground. And we have customer, they like to emphasize the location-based application. So they like to improve the performance of location detection. So let's need some kind of maybe customization or ecosystem co-working. For example, for location-based service, we need to talk to a 5G core network vendor instantly, and they say, hey, if you have those kind of service, I can implement this and to co-work with you to fulfill the requirement of customer. I think for now, customers' voice can be heard. And for the third point, because for now, most of maybe 5G private network is still in POC or it is maybe government subsidized projects. So customer, they still need an integrated baseband solution. But I think OpenRAN give them an opportunity to plan a long-term roadmap for their project. Because they can initiate their project first and do some investment. They know when they enlarge their project, they can join other suppliers and they have other new technology. So when we talk about customers, customer always want our roadmap. And I think also service is very important. I think Taiwan can play a role in this kind of service because when we know product, we know product, we can listen to customer. So we can provide a related service to customers. Yeah, that's I think the benefit for customer.
Okay, great point. Thank you. As I see the telecom industry expectation about these ORAN progress, I understand the telco expectations is different from the system integration or integrator perspective, and also different from the manufacturers, from hardware manufacturers, from software developers. All these different angles has a different expectation about this ORAN technology maturity. Okay, so I hope the whole industry can move in faster to make really make the 2025 a magic day happen for ORAN. Okay. All right. Now I'm hand over the floor to Maggie.
Okay, thank you, Howard, and thank you all my panelists today for your sharing and give our audience a very fruitful insight and a very precious experience. And also, I would like to thank to our audience for joining with us today. So should you have any questions about our panelists or about our E3 tip lab, feel free to contact with me via the email, which will be shown on the video. So thank you again and have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.